you ready? It's the Roundtable with me, Robert Bannon. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Roundtable. My name is Robert Bannon. You're listening to us on the Broadway Podcast Network, or you're watching us on Broadway World, or on the YouTube channel, or wherever you're watching it. Look, Jersey is in the house because Damon is my Jersey brethren, you know, holding down the arts for the Garden State. You might have seen him in television, Oklahoma, Broadway, recorded music, you know, over in the Bergen County community players back in the day. Who knows where you've seen Damon? Damon, welcome to the show. He's here on the Roundtable. Thank you for being here.
Thanks so much for having me, Robert.
Jersey, roots.
Let's go. I was thrilled to find out you were from Jersey as well. Where did you grow up?
Richfield Park, right next to Teaneck. Right next.
Oh, Teaneck. Yeah, I think I did a one-act festival in Teaneck in 1999, probably.
See, Damon, from Bergen County, Cedar Lane and Teaneck to the Broadway world. Where did you grow up?
I grew up in various towns of Essex County. So I grew up, I spent the majority of my childhood in Glen Ridge, which is near, not far from Manhattan. And then I bounced around like Cedar Grove, Verona. My mom settled in Whippany. It's like Morris County. And now my family basically relocated to North Carolina, to Asheville. But you can take the Italians out of Jersey, but you can't take the Jersey out of the Italians.
With your name, you a good Italian Jersey boy. My dad is Irish. My mom is Rose DiMeglio, so I get it.
Let's go, Rose DiMeglio.
Let's go. So when did you discover the love of music, theater, art?
Well, my mother used to play classical piano in the house when I was a kid, and she also really loved classic rock and the Beatles and Fleetwood Mac and that sort of 70s acoustic thing that was beautiful. And so she was always playing cassettes, and there was always like sort of cool music from my mom. For my dad, he was really into like the doo-wop crooner thing, if at all. So those two worlds of like Frank Sinatra and, Pete Townsend of The Who, like those two things were pretty nestled into my heart early on and made me want to get on stage. And once I did that as a kid, I was like, oh, this feels good.
That's it. But Damon, it's one thing to say I'm going to do. Was theater always the thing? Was it to play? Was it to be in a band? Like, what was the goal at that point?
That's a great question. I mean, at that point, it was probably... It's always been both. I've always loved acting and I've always loved performing music, and I've always been in bands, and I always wrote songs and played gigs on the side, and then always was in the school play and then the musical. And when I was younger, it was sort of like the theater program was like the outlet to both act and sing. So I sort of got into it by default. But then I, really came to love it as a community and the friends I would make and the profundity of those times, and so when it came time to like apply to school or think about the future in that way, it really settled in as the thing I'd like to do for sure.
Well, you didn't have to go far to make it to New York City. I mean, you just jump on 78 to the Lincoln Tunnel or whatever you ended up doing. How was the transition from schooling to professional life for you? You are very famous for off-Broadway, for workshops, for originating roles in some very big pieces of work, Tony nominations, Broadway, etc. How was those days of paying dues in New York City?
Oh boy. I mean, it doesn't feel like those days have really ended. It's just life, the isness of it all. Sometimes it's busy, and sometimes it's busy in other ways. But that transition was, I'd say, a slow burn. I really, I was fortunate to get an agent early on, and I got a job with this British company called Knee-High that came to New York, and that sort of was my first real professional job. But then it was about 7 years of, as you said, workshops, out of town, touring, going to other countries, like certain things. And then here and there, a show would settle down off Broadway or what have you. And certainly in my younger years, I had a lot of, you know, what I come to understand now is totally part of the business, but at the time was like tectonic shifts of heartbreak, things that you don't go forward with a show in one way or the other, and this kind of stuff. And that happens, a handful of times. And uh, it just never really occurred to me to like stop. It kind of always just felt like, well, oh well, next, and thankfully there always has been a next. And that's kind of, I've been really trying to meditate on letting go of viewing things in general as stepping stones. You know what I mean? Of like, oh, if I do this, maybe it'll go there and then that'll happen. And it's so easy to fall into that headspace as an actor, particularly I find in New York City in musical theater. It's such like I think it's kind of a relatively small club, and it's what it feels like in a good way.
Absolutely. It's as if you're listening to us, the lights just went off, so don't mind me.
I thought that was a choice. That was vibey. That was great.
That was Censor Life. We're here at the New Jersey Performing Arts Center in Newark, New Jersey. We're on lunch right now from a day of teaching the youth of the next generation of artists. And who knew that this room has sensors? Anyway, I apologize.
We were getting deep. Turns out I was just rattling on and on. That the lights were snooze.
But you were so deep. It was very existential and interpersonal and open and vulnerable. And I appreciate that so much. There is always going to be more work because you're good. Your voice is gorgeous. You're such a musician at heart, and you make, come on, actor. Why do people in musical theater get the reputation that there's not acting? Like, you're acting up there every single night.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate that, and I've actually come to appreciate that as a professional. That in my child heart, I think I wanted to be a movie star or be in a band on MTV, just to totally date myself. And I think, the musical theater door was the one that kind of just opened and kept saying, come on this way. And so I've really come to be super grateful for that lane and anyone who sort of cares to have me be a part of their project. But having done that and like resisted the sort of identifying as, well, I should have done rock and roll. And now, all these very ego-driven sort of immature perspectives, I've really come to love musical theater as a medium, and acting a song is so profound and very difficult and entirely its own craft, but entirely related to acting. You're doing a monologue or you're doing a scene, and you have to sort of extend it in song and not be afraid of that and lean into it, really embody that. And it takes some chutzpah to really get behind if you've not really done it before. It's nice.
It sure does. There's blocking and there's acting and there's singing in tune, hopefully all the time, going on the same time. Well, with you, it is in tune. I can't speak for everyone else. The Lonely Few, which is what we're going to hear and talk about. The Lonely Few, by the way, is at MCC. Go to mcctheater.org until June 9th. It's extended till June 9th, but you only have till June 9th to grab your ticket, so you better get a seat to come see it. Explain it. It's I don't know how to describe the experience. It's a rock concert. It's a play. What do you describe it as?
It is a celebration of theater. It's a musical. So it's to call it a rock musical, I think is funny. Just because we have electric guitars, it's a musical. It's definitely a musical, and it's beautiful. It's a queer love story at the center. I've heard it sort of reduced to like rom-com, but it's got way more depth than that. There is a central love story, but it also involves, it's called The Lonely Few for a reason. It centers on very isolated people in their own worlds and the way they sort of come together and intersect. But in the center of that, there is a beautiful, beautiful love story between two women, one of whom is a relatively new success in the commercial music world, and one is sort of local, hometown, less world experience, and the sort of characters you meet in that world.
And what's your part? Tell us a little bit about your journey in this saga.
So I I play Dylan Ramsey. Our Lila, our band is called The Lonely Few as well, and Amy comes into town and takes us on tour. And when we're on tour with Amy, all sorts of drama and hijinks ensue. So I'm the guitarist and bass player for The Lonely Few, which is led by Lila Booth. Yeah. And so we have like lots of history. I'm close with her brother and their family. I sort of like to consider myself the third Booth in that sort of familial way. We have deep history. And so it's really beautiful to explore that supportive role for both Lauren as a human, because I love her, and as an actor, to be focused on the success of someone else's heart is really a lovely place to be in every night.
Well, you all are singers. Like the singing up there is singing up and down and around. What can you tell us about the score and the creative team about putting this piece together?
Yeah, well, firstly, they aced it with casting Taylor and Lauren and Helen and Tom and Peter. It's like just ringer after ringer, and watching Taylor and Lauren every night just destroy it is so inspiring and so fun. It makes it such a joyful job to just, in between working, I get to hear them burn the roof off. And so that's been amazing to watch. Lauren having been with it for a couple of years now, and Taylor having stepped into it, you know, to see to see the story get sort of chewed up in both of those ways is a testament to the strength of its material. So there was new things to be found this time around, both lyrically and contextually. We have brand new humans joining the family. And so the creative team was very receptive to that sort of new DNA, and not beholden to sort of previous iterations and things like that. So it was very active.
It's exciting. I love this. Your whole career, to me, you're in artistic spaces, you're in commercial spaces, but you're doing work. Like, no shade to other shows, but you're not taking something that's been done, or a movie or a television show. Like, you're building it, even if it's something that's classic, it's recreated in such a way. What speaks to you? Like, when you get offered a project, what do you look for? I mean, we all remember this show, and what Oklahoma did, and deconstructing and reconstructing it, and your time talking about your time in Hadestown 185 years ago. No, I'm kidding. You're younger than me. So, like, they're new works. But sometimes they're old, or they're an old story, they're an old score, but it's deconstructed and reconstructed. What about that has been so appealing to you?
I think that I've been fortunate to sort of lean a bit left in that way, and then just the hive mind of it all. The like-minded folks find the like-minded folks, and it's not so much that I've been going out of my way to seek these things out, as much as these have been the opportunities that I've been offered. There is an argument to be made that I've been like trying to just go right up the middle this whole time, it turns out, but like I'm only allowed to go this way sometimes, or whatever. And that used to be a real narrative for me, but now I really do own that, and it becomes very important that what I do offers me a sense of there has to be a bit of complexity to it that I get to sort of make sense of. I really like to ride a line of, is this good or bad? Not in my performance, ideally, but in the, do you know what I mean? Things that really make you question parts of the human condition beyond, ooh, that was fun,
But for people who love art and aspire to see great art, we thank you for the project you make, because you make us think, you make us see, you make us, like, it is great. So thank you.
Thank
Speaking
you.
of art, Damon, you have your own art, you have your own music. People could be streaming your originals out right now.
Yes, please stream the original that is out right now. Yes, look at that. Thank you so much.
Come on.
Yeah. So my producer and collaborator Deidre Muro and I wrote this song called Time Machine, and We are currently on the books for our follow-up that will be released by the end of June. So we're trying to just get the ball rolling in that as an outlet for my life, and that's what Deidre does. She runs a label and is a producer and works with artists. And I've been fortunate enough to know her for a very long time, and so it was an easy collaboration. And it's now just something that I have to do. It's one of those things where being in the Lonely Few is so awesome and fun, but my favorite part by a million miles is playing in the band, and so I'm like, well, may as well do more of that then, and it's that simple.
Well, the music is streaming. You could stream Time Machine wherever music is heard, so stream away. And
Yes,
we'll look
thank
forward
you. I'm terrible at marketing.
No, stream wherever you get your music and download it and all of the fun stuff. I love this styled picture. I'm all here for the hair and the outfit and the pants and the couch. And come on.
Thank you very much. It's very much like, what do we have for free? That was me, very unshowered. And those were Deidre's clothes. And actually, I think those trousers were Deidre's mom's. And then the spoon was hanging around. I wanted that. And then that was their old music studio. That was their old recording studio. So we're just on the couch.
Crazy. It's so artsy and fun and vibrant and pops, and the music is out. So so our homework assignment is till June 9th. You have to go to mcctheater.org, get your tickets to see the show. This cast, I'm telling you, the Tony nominations and the Tony Awards and the credits and the voices and the acting and the band and the music and the whole production is bananas. So mcctheater.org till June 9th only. And then we're going to stream. We're streaming and staying up to date with all things Damon. And, Jersey knows Jersey. Come on. We have to look out here. Italian Jersey boys. Come on, y'all. So we're going to be streaming and listening. And I'm excited to see what's next. What else you got up your sleeve? We're ready.
Thank you. Me too. I appreciate the support.
Let's go. Thank you so much, Damon, for spending some time with us today.
Oh, my pleasure, Robert. Thanks so much.
There you have it. Jersey knows Jersey. Tony nominee, Broadway star, music's out. If you love Jersey, if you're in the New York area, come see me June 14th. 54 Below. Get your tickets, 54below.org. It's my pride show. You never know who's going to show up. You never know what I'm going to sing. And for more information, go to robertbannon.com or follow me at Robert M. Bannon on Instagram. Thanks for joining us on the Broadway Podcast Network or watching on YouTube. We are here every Thursday live on YouTube, or you can listen to us every day on BPN. We are always chatting with somebody about art and artistry. It's always so good to be here. Thank you so much for being here. The best is yet to come, and I'll see you next time right here on the Roundtable. Thanks, everybody.